Hi, I'm Carcino.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Welcome. And if you were shocked by the last videos that we did, the beat goes on as Hollywood just did it again. Oh, man. How many times do we have to go through the same thing? Hollywood, buddy. Mm, mm, mm. It don't change. The more we hope and pray Hollywood change, all this garbage remains the same. Hit the like button coming through the door, because now it's going to get really interesting. See, no one's going to tell you the truth. Yeah, Kyrie, you was really motivated by that game. I heard you talking about it earlier in the chat. Now look. What's up, Flamboyant Rankin? I see you. All my members popping up in here. Now, let's get it into perspective. Hollywood has just did it again, ladies and gentlemen. They're playing a dirty game, and now all these dots are being connected. And I'm going to mention some names. Now, we're going to start with some names in Hollywood that some people know and most of you probably don't know, but I think it's time we start calling out names. What's good, Black? I see you. Now, Hollywood just did this again. Now, Lakeith Stanfield is an actor who turned down certain roles because it didn't fit him. Hollywood frowned upon that. And as he fought his way back to the position, they didn't even want to pay Chadwick Boseman until he did Black Panther. He was James Brown. He was Thurgood Marshall. He was every black anything before he played Black Panther. Then they knew they were going to have to pay him the big money. So while he was going through his treatment, Hollywood acted as if they didn't know what was going on with Chadwick Boseman. Yep, Jackie Robinson, all of them, right? Taraji P. Henson, the management team she had around her, they never capitalized off the cookie roll. She was on the biggest show, biggest platform on Fox. Everybody's watching Empire. All the stuff about Cookie, all the black people that's watching Cookie, and how she took that road and transformed that for the years it was on. They never capitalized off any of that success. Her own team. So she fired all of them and replaced them after she saw what was going on. They were using Taraji P. Henson to boost up other characters, putting them around Taraji's character and letting her character shine so much that everybody's paying attention so that you see the other person that's in the scene with her. So that's what they were using her for. But here's the thing, Timothy. Tyler's paying her. He was the first and really the only person to pay her what she was really, truly worth. And it helped her get bigger paydays in her career. He couldn't believe how low of money that she was getting paid earlier in her career when she was basically with a sexual predator as a manager who was representing her. And he only represented black women so he could use and manipulate them and put them in situations that was very unfavorable to them. And she still defended him to this day. She no longer has that manager, but that's how she got some roles. He the one got her in the movie with Brad Pitt that did nothing for her career, even though she was nominated for an Oscar. It did nothing for her career to show that Oscars don't mean anything for blacks. But we're going to get into that because we're going to shake the whole pillars of the world right now. You ever hear of these two names? Andre Brown and Kevin Brown. They two producers, right? Most of them worked on 30 Rock. They worked on 30 Rock. They did Uptown Comedy Jam or something. They had some shows back in the day. And those guys are producers in Hollywood now. They've done some work with stand-up comedians, helping them get off the ground in New York. These are some New York guys. You know what I'm saying? Straight from the Bronx. They got into upscale Hollywood. And they took them guys into industry parties to see how they would react. So they came back, and what they do is try to teach black actors now. Yeah, that was Tracy Morgan's guy, man. Tracy Morgan, he gave Tracy Morgan a shot before Tracy blew up and got big. So when Tracy saw him again, you know, he really looked out for him. So now he's on the show doing this thing, right? They came back and start talking about what they saw in Hollywood. And it's crazy. And they start trying to teach like young black actors how to move and what to expect. And see, everybody think that if you're white, like everybody white is racist in Hollywood. It's not necessarily true. There are some white people that are blown away by some of the stuff that happens in Hollywood. Like they don't know anything about it. Not everybody white is into that circle. You know, they're not. And they'll try to see if that person is in that circle and how they react. It, you know, it pushes it into a whole new envelope. Oh, yeah, definitely hit the like up for this and hit the cash up for this one because they definitely finna cut off notifications now. If you was all worried about before, it's definitely finna go down now. Now, here's the thing. I have never heard of this term in my life. Now, when they saying somebody is hunting something, like they are out there chicken hawking, and you go chicken hawking, what is that? That is a chicken hawk is a British gay culture slang to denote older males who prefer younger males for partners. That they call them chickens, and the chicken hawks. And that's some word that they were using out there in California, and they brought back. They said this is based on a documentary called Chicken Hawk, Men Who Love Boys, in the magazines, right? Now, he got out there and he couldn't understand what he was seeing. They came back and saw some things that just shocked their minds because they said, I can't believe it. I'm out there and this person is with somebody who don't know if they want to be a boy, don't know if they want to be a girl. So they came back totally, they from the Bronx. So this blew their mind. So they wasn't expecting to see all that. They come all the way back. And one of the producers who was produced the movie Elf, he was the one that was like his party. And a lot of people were there. This guy produced a lot of stuff, man. He's one of the people that put the movie up for a lot of like Vince Vaughn movies. He did some for Vince Vaughn, I believe, and Will Ferrell. Yeah, he did the Dewey Cox. He was a producer for that one. Walk Hard. You know, it was like a lot of those guys there. But this is where it gets crazy. Yeah, we made Chicken Hawk and a whole different thing. Straight stalking and chicken hawking. They would call them women chicken, you know, like back in the 80s. Like young girls was called chicken, but they flipped that to dudes now and don't even use that term no more. It's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Stay away from that term. Now, in Hollywood, they started to, you know, go after certain people. Chadwick Boseman was up before he passed. I already told you that with Chadwick. So Chadwick had already came up a whole different road. Keith Stanfield was still paving his own way, but they were making it like he was problematic, which he wasn't. He just didn't bite the apple. And he says, well, I'm not going to be a gay character to be a gay character. You know, I'm a real actor, so I have to say, do I feel comfortable in this script? And he's like, why don't you just get a gay actor to play a gay actor? Why do you want straight people to play this gay actor? So once again, frustration sets. And the guy just, okay, if you don't want to play it, then you ain't got to play it. You know, like, so Lakeith Stanfield's career was on a standstill because of this blow up with this like producer, manager guy, whatever he is, you know. So that was on standby. And here's where things start to go left. You look at Jason Mitchell, who played Eazy-E in Straight Outta Compton. He was getting all the Keith Stanfield roles. You know, he was in Kong. He was in all of these films that were coming out that were major. Like he was up for everything. Jason Mitchell was on his way. He was nominated for a lot of awards, and the way they got rid of him was weird. They bankrupted him and kicked him out of the business. And here's why and how that became very weird, because here in Chicago is where the problems took place. During the election, everybody was like going through the whole procedures of what they wanted to do when they was getting these shows and trying to build a shot. Common was producing the show The Shot and wanted Jason Mitchell to be the lead. He was like, look, I'm making a movie called The Shot. I think you should be the lead of the show. The show was made around him and got Leah Waithe in there. And when they saw Common around all of these people, that's what really got him like, wow, this is weird. And it was weird that Mary J. Blige and her team was the one that recommended, like, oh, he was great to work with, you know, and she got all the credit and he almost didn't get any credit. But he was in a movie called Mudbound, like an old movie back in the day, where they told him, okay, here's what we want you to do. We want you to do this scene and you're going to be like on this slave day foundation or whatever. Then they changed the script. First, he was supposed to be whipped in the barn. And his character is supposed to be tortured or something and left in the barn or something. And then they changed the script. They come back in. I'm sorry I had to rewind and take y'all back to this moment because this is before the shot. They take you back to the moment, right? And when you get to the moment or whatever, they ended up changing the script around and told him, I'm not feeling this. The realism is he should be stripped of all his clothes. So he's like, stripped of all my clothes. And Jason Mitchell was like, wait a minute, we ain't know this was going to happen. Like, I ain't know, you know, they were like, no, it's not. We're not showing. It's like, we thinking that, you know, it's going to be done tastefully. It's going to be done tastefully. That's what the director was telling him. And they were like, look, just do it. Just go through the scene. It'll be a closed set. All you have to do is take off all your clothes and be completely naked. And we're only going to shoot the scene from this way, but it's just from the long lens. We know how to blurt things out. So they were making it like they were going to not put him, you know, like they do everybody in Hollywood. They don't show men's junk on the screen. Then when Mudbound comes out and they go to the scene, they show Jason Mitchell on a wall completely naked. He had no idea they were going to do that. He was betrayed by the movie. He was pissed. He was real pissed off. And they knew he was mad. And then they start offering him big roles. And that's how he got King Kong. They put him right in there. Oh, no. We got big things for you. Just because he was willing to get naked in front of these people. Now, because of this, most people didn't see it because it's a small film. So, but the people that wanted him to get naked definitely wanted him to get naked. And they kept putting him in roles Lakeith Stanfield was supposed to get. Then, let's get to the Shy. Common, who grew up around the people we know. You know, Common started wanting to make a show around him, make him the lead. Then all of a sudden, him and the girl that's on the show, she's flirting with him. Right? She's flirting with him. They flirt back on the show, and they were a couple on the show. And while they're a couple on the show, everything flips and goes upside down.
To be quite frank with you.
So everything flips and goes upside down. He's on the show. She starts saying, like, oh, he sexually harassed me, when she was never making these claims. They would play black back and forth with each other. Everybody thought they were dating. But she had a fiance. So what she was trying to do is flirt with Jason Mitchell because he's a star. The show is about him. So if she can make herself seem like very sexually subjective to him, what's that going to do for everybody else? I mean, what's that going to do for her career? You think her boyfriend, if she came home and said, oh, he was flirting with me, she came up there or he came up there to mess with her or say, hey, what's going on? He was like, all right, I'll come on the set with you. And they were like, well, we don't want the man on the set. That wasn't his decision. That was for everybody. They didn't want boyfriends hanging around on the sets. That was their rule. It wasn't Jason Mitchell's rule. He didn't mind that. And she was just like, I'm with him, but it's like whatever. They would flirt with each other. It was no big deal. Then she started getting uncomfortable all of a sudden. She was, oh, I filed tons of things against him. She just got mad at him one day because I guess her man figured out like what she was doing. And then she acted like, oh, Jason Mitchell's the one that keeps coming on to me. And I've complained about it. So she went and got the paperwork complaining about it early. And then they squashed whatever it was. He was like, really? All right, well, he was like, can you work? They were going to let her go. She ended up leaving the show anyway. Like, I'm leaving after this season and this and that because, I can't deal with this anymore. And he was like, wow. Okay, that's crazy. So when that Ayanna Ford Davis came in there and did what she did, people around the Chi was saying that around the city was like, look, man, she hangs out on the north side. When they do the rap party, they go here to this club. This club is like mostly known for like black lesbian girls. Okay, black lesbian girls go to this club. It's not a lot of men there. Not even gay men go to that club. And it's like on the north side. And like people in this city know. I'm from Chicago. Everybody know the Chi and all this is like, hey, when Leading the Way is in town, they go to certain people. They're supported by this community while they're filming the show. But after it, they have certain like parties in certain places. And people who from out of town that work here, they don't know what kind of bar or club this is until you get in there. So he was never invited. Jason Mitchell from the Chi, who everybody wanted to see, was never, ever brought up. He was never mentioned. Not even once. Now, what all of this came from all of a sudden that escalated Tiffany Boone's case? That now you got Ayanna Floyd Davis and Tiffany Boone saying, I told y'all about Jason. They fired him from a movie called Desperados and replaced him with another black actor. And the cast called him out. He was in the cast. Let me show y'all. So y'all don't say I'm tripping. The cast. Jason Mitchell. There he was. He was replaced by Lamore Morris. This guy here. He was replaced by another black man from the city. But we don't get to this replacement. But let's get to the cast. The original cast was this, right? Jason Mitchell, and it was her being the star of the movie, Nasim Pedra, right? And Anna Camp, the whole situation, right? Now, he didn't even say anything, but one of the white girls was flirting with him and everything, and they were all drunk. Jason Mitchell is the one that called and made sure the girl got home so she didn't get fired while they were out of Mexico taking shots of tequila, and he brought the girl home. They weaponized Me Too to go after Jason Mitchell, to take him down because of his all basically white cast came after him. And they knew Robbie Amell never spoke up for Jason. No, everybody know what he did to save everybody there and made sure they got home. There was no sexual assault, nothing with this movie. But yet, this Nasim Pedra comes out very vocal about him. Why? And it started a firestorm. This is a movie called Desperado, not The Chi. This is what got him fired from everything. All because what happened here with these white folks, all turning on him, making him the target and exploiting the Me Too movement to attack him. And bankrupt him. Now, after his bankruptcy, and I mean bankrupting him out of the business, all of a sudden, they had to replace an actor who they knew. So the girl who was the star of the movie, who wasn't a producer, this girl right here, Nasim Pedra, right, chose this guy. They automatically went with Lamar Morris. Now, why would she choose him? Why would the studio go to him? No offense to him. I like him. He's funny. But why do you think they picked him? Any reason? See if somebody figure it out. No, this brother's not gay. The reason they picked him is because these two have a friendship. That's her friend. Now, you might be saying, well, how's this woman who barely has any push in the industry? She was small time. How in the world did she choose this man? They worked together on a show. They were a couple. All the time. They were everywhere. So when he got fired, she went immediately to him. But why did Netflix choose this if she's not the producer? That's the producer's job to find an actor. But she was the star of the movie, and that's who she wanted. They were on a TV show, and she played his wife on the show. New girl. So they got him fired so she can get the guy she wanted on the show, and it boosts her career to get her in the movie Aladdin. She got the movie Aladdin and bumped her career up, and they kicked Jason Mitchell off of everything that was supposed to come his way. So as you can see, they changed the rules. All this happened back in 2022. What happened in 2022? Hollywood increased new rules called DEI mandates for major award shows like Oscars, for unappreciated and unrepresented groups in key roles for Best Picture eligibility, new technology guidelines concerning AI and all the human creators, right? When they start rolling that out, they said we got to have a diversity standards here where movies must meet specific inclusion criteria for creative leadership. So Black people thought this meant they finna finally start recognizing us. No, you're not what DEI was for. DEI was for Black women, other women of color from other races, and gays. Sorry. Wasn't for you. What's up, princess? Good live stream. I got to watch the whole thing. I came in almost right before the end. So DEI came in and it started to make it a requirement, but it was only benefiting not black people, white women, mostly gays, and some black women were benefiting. But black men were thrown under the bus. And what they call diversity was movies that were pretty much way out of the box when it came to acceptability. And people who you thought would have your back, who were considered to be black, they weren't having your back in Hollywood. Common wasn't standing up on 10 toes down for Jason at all when all of these things were going on. He was nowhere to be found. He couldn't even talk to him or have a conversation. So he talked to Lena Waithe, who Lena was like, this some BS, we're going to straighten this out. So they told her, no, like he is the sacrificial lamb. And Jason, his whole career just had to be altered and kicked out the box. Now, remember what I told you about Lamar Morris. Now, let's go to his real wife in real life. That's his real wife in real life. Erin Lynn, an Asian woman. Oh, we'll go into some Billy Porter issues a little later. Like I told you, this is going to be a very revealing night. Strap it in. So now, let me tell you what they did. Let me tell you the trick in which they played on you. Now, and I love that show, New Girl. That was my show. I used to love some New Girl. That cracked me up because it reminded me of my friends. That was Winston. So Winston was on the cast. Now, he was added to the cast for different reasons. Like most of y'all probably don't remember New Girl. But New Girl was a long-running show. Very popular. Oh, Common didn't care. Common just was getting his money and was like, I'm a producer now. I'm not even hands-on. It's like her show. I'm through. So this was New Girl. And he was added to the cast. But when they shot the pilot, he wasn't there. They added Cece to the show and made her a major cast member. But when the show came out, this was New Girl. The first show had Damon Wayans Jr. on the show as coach. Winston was not there. He wasn't here on the show. So it was all of these characters with Coach. When they shot the pilot, the show was picked up a year later. So he already was on another show, Damon Wayans Jr. Oh, we'll watch it one day. We'll binge watch it. Me and you will binge watch it. Misunderstood. He replaced Damon Wayans Jr. Damon Wayans Jr. had another show, and they went and did that together. So, I mean, he went and did that movie, that TV show that he had, and because they didn't pick up this show yet. So when they greenlit the show, he's gone. So they had to get another black guy to play the role. So they say, well, we're not going to replace Coach. We'll just say Coach is gone somewhere, got a job in another state. Here's our other friend, Winston. So now Winston's on the show. And Winston's a character. Now, Coach, Damon Wayans Jr. show, it ends. If they don't pick it up, it's over. So now he comes back and joins the cast later on. He had like some guest features on there, but then he started coming on again as a regular. I'm going to get to why all of this is very important. This is a funny show. Out of all these characters, I'm more like this guy here, Nick Miller. Nick Miller from Chicago. That was more like me. Out of all the characters on this show, I was more like Nick Miller. and he just happened to be, his character happened to be from Chicago. So, right. So I'm going to show you why this is significant and what's the significance in this role and what they actually did. Now, I'm trying to think of her name. Okay, Winston or New Girl. Now, on the show, Winston, the black guy, he's the guy who can never really get a girl. And when he gets them, he has a weird relationship with a cat. They took his character in the weirdest directions you ever wanted to see. Everybody else had a couple or was matched up. Winston was the weird guy who loved cats. Now, being funny and everything, but Winston was the guy that was written off as the cat guy. Every girlfriend he had, he screws it up. Out of all the goofy stuff everybody else do, they made Winston real dumb, and he was a former basketball player overseas. They just messed his character all the way up. 100%. They started taking him down different terrains. So it got to the point of saying, okay, look, everybody's in a relationship. We got to do something with Winston. It's like he's the third wheel all the time. Now, they brought him a girlfriend on the show, a very beautiful black woman who goes by the name, her name is Kelly Hawk. I told y'all about Kelly Hawk and what she had to go through in Hollywood. Now, if you don't know Kelly Hawk, you probably know her for a few movies she was in. She was in 40 Shades of Black with Marlon Wayans. She played the lead girl in that. And she was in the movie Couples Retreat. And that was really her breakout role. But she was with an agency. She was with an agency that put her in a position Corey says she was musty on Black Jesus. Okay. Yeah, so she couldn't get any movie roles. So she would audition with people and they were passing her up for movie roles. Then she had to switch and go to a different like acting school and go to a different acting class. And in her acting class in California is what got her the first audition she went to, she got. She was getting turned down, so it mattered where she went. She had to switch to a Jewish acting school. Even though she was talented as an actress, they weren't going to take her serious or hire her no matter how good she was based on what agency she came from, like what acting school. So the lady who had the acting class said, "Oh, I know the girl. I got a girl in here that you guys will look for. She's black. Yeah, you guys need a black girl to play this part." And they brought her in to play. They brought her in to play a ghetto black girl in the movie Couples Retreat. She was Faison Love's like side piece that he just picked up. And you know, he was split with his wife. And in Couples Retreat, she was, "Ooh, daddy." You know, she was like real the crazy wild. "You said we're gonna be doing mad things, daddy. You made promises." So the movie is hilarious. If you ain't seen Couples Retreat, definitely check it out. It's hilarious. She did an outstanding job because she's nothing like that character. But it was a stereotype that they put on her. And she just nailed the role. And it opened all these doors of opportunity for her. He was, "Oh, yeah, that was her. Wow." Yeah, so anyway, she was the love interest of him on the show New Girl. She was the girlfriend. She played the black guy Winston's girlfriend on the show. Now, I told you we're going to bring this thing around full circle. Now, she's on the show playing the girlfriend. He's got a character that, okay, we got a black couple on the screen, and all of a sudden, you know, in real life, the wife is insecure about this. And some of the producers at Fox, they're like, "What are we really promoting here? Where's this? I don't really feel the dynamic of the energy anymore." And it was like, why? What's going on here? I'm like, I like those two together. They funny. But Hollywood plays a dirty, dirty game. So they decided those two should have a big breakup on the show, which was stupid, by the way. There was no reason for them to break up. None. Made no sense. The people didn't say they disliked it or anything. Like the fans who was watching it, they decided to break up the only black couple on the show. And change his direction to make him a police officer so he could date his boss, his lieutenant. The lady from Israel, Nasim Petra. They kicked the black girl off. And put him into place and put this couple together. They gonna get married. They gonna have babies. So now you see how this thing came around full circle? Now you see what they did? Now they done went all the way full circle. So the thing with Jason Mitchell come around when it's time to do the movie on Netflix and he's the character and they want to pull this DEI move, he all of a sudden is now the problem and he got to go. And she chose him for the movie. When she was the lead, she wanted to choose him because she's comfortable working with him because she's worked with him before. She's like, oh, he'll be great for this role. So he picked up the pieces while Jason's trying to figure out why they trying to get rid of him and blackball him. So they canned the black relationship to basically put a black man with an Israeli woman on the show. The only black man that was on the show at the time. And that woman made all the big fuss about Jason Mitchell on that show, Desperados, which went all the way back to the Chi, got him fired on the Chi. Everything blew up because of her running her mouth about something that he didn't even do nothing wrong there. He saved a girl who was drunk and he didn't even name her. Because he didn't want to mess up their career. They were going to miss shooting. They were going to get fired. And he made sure everybody made it home. He's like, I didn't even sleep with anybody. Nobody said nothing to me. There was no complaints, nothing. They went out. I didn't even want to go out. They went out and got drunk and was taking shots at tequila. I made sure everybody got home. No. Now you see how this works, right? So now when they talk about sustainability, everybody wanted to go down the DEI road. So the Academy started moving towards digital-only screenings, eliminating physical DVDs. They didn't want to do that. Everything was going digital. So the DEI data collector. What is a DEI data collector? That's what Hollywood is using now for California production rules. They put all of this in effect now. This is not blah, 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 conspiracy theory. This is real. Okay, it's state regulated. That's being implemented for all the productions. They got a DEI data collector and do acknowledgement for like tribal lands, outreach, legal constraints. You got mental health days now being put into play. Now they ask, are you gay? They ask, are you mentally unstable in any way? They've used these rules and it's supposed to be making things better. They've actually just went a whole nother route to promote not diversity and inclusion. It's who we are including in this diversity and inclusion. Because the damn show ain't us. We'll just take the blame when all of it go wrong. They just dump it all on us as usual. The typical, the Willy Bobo. Last time it was affirmative action. Remember, he's just an affirmative action hire. Affirmative action hire? Now it's DEI hire. Oh, he's a DEI hire. It's like back, it's the same thing. You just don't want no black having any job, do you? All of the allegations came from the show he was on. The girl was flirting with him on the show. They flirted back and forth with each other while they recorded. She's his girlfriend on the show. You know, they have what they call chemistry tests. You know, you go out, the studio would actually pay y'all to go out and do things. You know, the pictures you see with Will Smith and Margaret, what's her name? Maggie Roby, when they did the movie Focus, you see them, they in the booth, they like they having fun. She lifting her shirt up. These are all from the chemistry test. And I had to explain that to y'all, and they was like, Will is cheating with the girl here. Now I'm like, they good friends, and we'll probably try to slide one in. But that was a chemistry test. So they send them out on a chemistry test so y'all could build a report. So when they start filming, it ain't weird. It's not weird. They build a chemistry. They say, hey, why don't y'all go out on, on the budget? Y'all go to this bar or go here and just have a chemistry test. We want to see how this thing look, how it works. So they had a chemistry test, and they just got along. It was really no problem. Then she got a guy the whole time, and at first she didn't tell him even that she had a guy. He never came there to like pick her up or nothing. He wasn't even on the show. Like, she didn't start bringing him around until all of a sudden she just like, I guess the man found out, what was going on, and was like, oh, you getting a little too cozy with him. Let me see these text messages. And now she's acting like she's being harassed. It was just like that, because before, she's not even known. Like, he's known. She's not. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Because see, that's how they get you. Now, to move into the abyss of what's really going on here, let's take you to the character Barton Fitzpatrick. Barton Fitzpatrick plays on The Chi, right? You know this guy, you've seen him on The Chi, right? Now, how does his character end? If spoiler alert, in case you hadn't seen The Chi and don't know what happens to his character. His character moves off the show with a transgender guy. They move away to go with a transgender. And it was so far away from the direction of his character. Like, you would never expect that from his character. But this is what happens in Hollywood when you're forced to do something you don't want to do. This is the prime example of it. Here in Chicago, my boy was on the show, The Chi. He got the role. Then all of a sudden, they got back to him and said, because Common was like, dog, you on the show. I ain't going to say his name because, that's his story to tell. But they told him, like, you going to be on the show. And he said, he was like, yep, that's my show. So, exactly. So if you seen what happened with his character, and you seen what they made his character do, he didn't want to do that with his character. But they told him, you don't own the character. The studio does. They told him that. So he was like, yep, you're right. That's what happened to his character. So anyway, Common told my boy, who's actually more known because he's in the movie Chirac. So he was in the movie Chirac. So with Spike Lee, he got his movie credits and everything. He tells him, Common and him met when they was doing the Chirac movie. And he was talking about doing the Chi as a series back then. So he tells him, he's like, hey, okay. He was like, yeah, you in. He was like, bet. So he met with the people. He finna get hired. He finna play the cast member. And when they kidnapped the girl, that's his boy. Like, I think they family, actually. That might be a cousin of his. He got hired after they told him. He was like, oh, yeah, you got the role. Then they was like, nah, we can't use you. And it was like, wow, what happened here? Then we started to figure out that Rock Nation got involved. And I'm like, Rock Nation? What Rock Nation had to do with this show? Telling you, it's how it worked. Because my boy is a rapper, right? He was a rapper and he didn't play the game. And he went at Meek Mill. And Meek Mill was spooked to come to Chicago because of all of this. And Meek reached out to Dirk and told him, hey, man, if I come film this video in the city, you know, am I safe if I go over there? And he said, and Dirk told him, I can't guarantee your safety over there. He's like, I don't know these dudes and what they might do. He's like, I can give you some guys, but I can't tell you what they're gonna do. Because he's like, I got beef with this dude in your city. And it would happen to be my boy. So now, and it really wasn't no beef like that. But he was just saying, hey, dude, you stole from me and blah, 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 just calling him out on his BS. But you can't do that when certain people are attached to projects. So it went from the same thing happened on Empire. He was on Empire and he did like 2 episodes and then they found out and then he was just removed. He got signed by Lucius Lyon. And they said, you know, he's supposed to have a reoccurring role and his character was supposed to do X, Y, and Z. And then they changed and wrote him out completely. Then it flips to a whole nother thing where they cut him out. And his homeboys, who he helped get the part, they get the part and then talking about, oh, yeah, I'm going to get you in. I'm going to get you in. He was like, I don't want to got you in. And now I'm out and you talk about you finna get me in. Then you talking greasy about me to everybody else. As the show went on, the show transformed after they got Jason Mitchell off. And they want to push and see how much you gonna do before they make you do something else. That's how the show works. That's the energy level. Unfortunately, that's Hollywood right now. It is a cesspool and it's a mafia. It's actually a mafia. They run like the mob. Once you blacklisted from them and you tell them no, nobody finna work with you. It ain't gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna just do another movie. Oh, no. They gonna lock it down. They gonna be nobody we deal with gonna deal with you. But see, that's the thing. White actors can make mistakes all over the place. You had a white actor damn near shoot his girlfriend, who's another actress. Y'all know Charlie Sheen shot that woman. He shot his girlfriend in a hotel on drugs. Didn't do a day of jail time. Kelly Preston. He was high on drugs, spinning the gun around, got coked up, got mad at her, pointed the gun, shot her. They thought his career was over. Nope, here comes white America. They offered her a ton of money and a ton of movie roles. The Hollywood studios got involved. The Hollywood studio got involved and gave her a whole new identity. They said, well, you and Charlie not going to be together no more. You ain't got to worry about that. Here's what's going to happen. And they were like, well, what's going to happen? Don't worry. We're going to get to it right now. Put her with John Travolta, and John Travolta fell in love with this woman and married her. And that was it. Because John Travolta needed a wife. Because John Travolta, well, you know, he was Saturday Night Fever for real. Yes, John Travolta was a gay man. Who was basically who Richard Gere played in doggone that movie, American Gigolo. A rich gay man used to fly him everywhere when he was young in his career. So he struggled with this throughout his entire career. So they needed a beard for him. So they had to go ahead and find someone they could put in charge to you know, make him seem legit. And when he was a struggling actor back in the day, this gay man used to keep John Travolta as his little boy toy. They would take private sailing yachts out, and he kept them financed. Everybody in Hollywood knows this. This is called the industry. Oh, there's been people who have beat women up. Like the woman was in a bloody mess and they didn't care. They absolutely didn't care. Oh, they covered it up. Because that's the evil that's out there. That's why they don't really care about anybody else in the industry. That's why I want y'all to go to the Patreon tonight, because the video is going to come out over there. It's going to blow your mind. That's the Casino for Life Patreon. Make sure you go over there, because you don't want to miss what's coming. I'm telling you. I was supposed to have it out earlier, but I overslept. And then when I got up today, I was just like, I got to get the day cracking. Yeah, everybody know that about John. Come on. See, John got caught in one of his wild nights out. And this isn't Photoshop, ladies and gentlemen. He got caught out there. And when he got caught out there, he had to pay the blackmailer all of this money to make all of this disappear. And the guy that they send is what they call a Hollywood fixer. A fixer goes around and basically handles these type of extortion cases, and they take care of things from the studio. Normally, the agency you work for, like I told you, they're the mob. They come around and they fix these problems. That's why the majority of you never really saw some of these pictures. Now, what's the dynamic here? No, there wasn't any AI back then. So what they said is that, somebody took a picture of him. He was auditioning for a part. He was going to play this part where this man dresses up as a woman. Yes, Ray Donovan is based off a fixer, the real life fixer. So all of those stories is pretty much real. Yes. So John was out there. So they came up with a storyline to say John was rehearsing for a role, and for this movie. So he was in character. And someone decided to take a picture, some friends, as a joke. And then they posted it. So they created a storyline so that the guy who was blackmailing said, "Oh, you think I won't put him out?" Put it out anyway to the media, and it went nowhere. But we live in the internet era now, right? So all of this stuff you can pretty much find. But if you're in Hollywood, you know all this stuff. You don't care. Now, the other name you probably didn't know. Oh, yeah, because this person did the same exact thing. They go get beards and they put the person around them. And they're cool people. But everybody know what they are and who they are and what they do and how they move. I know they often pump that and they push those narratives, but I'm a huge fan of the other one. Now the other guy, huge fan of all his work. Now, huge fan. Very huge fan. But he's at the top of the list. And everyone knows. But because he's so cool, nobody cares. Exactly. He's people like, I've been knew that. Exactly. You know, but you don't really care because they cool. But what happens when they don't become cool no more? Right? Mr. Scientology. Of course. Where does Scientology come from? Where does this distinction come from? Who are the two main supporters? I just showed you the two main hubs of Scientology, right? Yeah, pretty much. But they're the other ones. They lie and say they're not in Scientology, but they are. She tried to say, oh no, I put my dad in there to try to save his life. And it was working. It got him off drugs. It got him off this. Because what they go to is a mentalist. And what the mentalist does in Hollywood is they hypnotize you. You seen Get Out? It's exactly how it works. They get you to quit smoking, they get you to turn away, but you have to turn away from God. They do not believe in God in Scientology. They believe in science. Science is the ruler of everything. They don't believe in God. And you have to denounce God in order to be in Scientology. But as you can see, the people that are in that place seem to be absolutely crazy. And when you try to escape, they destroy your career. And almost everybody in Hollywood is in Scientology. Dude, that's why you got to be on the Patreon, man. Where you been at? I'm like, seriously, bro, what you doing? Yeah, so this is what we mean when we start breaking it down to you guys. Um, there's things that you didn't know that you probably didn't see that we can't really go to here on YouTube, but on the Patreon we can. So we try to keep you guys abreast as much as possible, but there's certain details and things that you just won't be privy to. Now, if I go to my Patreon, I'll share my Patreon with you this one time and show you what's going on behind the scenes. I was at Tom Cruise's premiere for his last Mission movie, but also here you get the whole picture with good old Tom and how everything else plays into play, comes into the whole full circle. Leah Remy is still getting jobs because she's still really basically connected to Scientology. Don't get that twisted. See, on Patreon, we've already discussed this, as you can see, in grave detail, and we connect all the dots. Now you see why Tom Cruise is so buddy-buddy with Jamie Foxx, who he was like, dude, you can sleep with my wife. Because that's what Jamie does. Jamie, to get into Hollywood, to get into comedy, he was basically a cuckold. And he basically was doing Tom Cruise a favor, satisfying his wife. And they met while doing Collateral, because that was Adam Sandler's role. Adam Sandler played that part, and he didn't want to do it. So he gave the role up, and it went to Jamie Foxx. And his first wife that was assigned to him, all of his wives were assigned. They didn't even meet with him. They met in a restaurant with a manager, an agent, and everybody else, and had to interview for the job. Scarlett Johansson was interviewed to be with Tom Cruise, and she thought she was going to go on a date with Tom Cruise. They were interviewing her at 19 years of age. She was 19. She wasn't even 21. And when she found out, she was meeting with managers and agents, and he's like, no, you got to interview with us, and we kind of vet you. And see, then we set up the date with you and Tom. And she was, oh, no, I don't want this. But Katie Holmes did. Yeah, and there's Keith Urban with Nicole Kidman and all of these things. Yes, assigned. You get with Tom Cruise is something beneficial for you. Jamie Foxx, it turned his whole career around. When he got in that cab and was driving for Tom Cruise, next thing you know, he's getting all Oscar roles. Before that, he was doing stuff like Bait. Hood movies. You get with Tom Cruise, you work for him, you sleep with his wife for him, you do everything he asks you to do, and you have to be a friend for life. Jamie was able to keep his mouth shut. Now, if you want the whole thing, it's on the Patreon, so you can just go over there and check it out. All you got to do is type it into the search in my Patreon and go from there. Jamie Foxx Secrets that will explain it all. This explains everything about Jamie, the whole connection in this circle that he's with. Then you'll find out what happened with how he passed out and was in a coma and all that stuff. You'll find it all out, buddy. Miss Scotty Too Hottie, what's up? Oh, of course, it all paid off. Now, let's go into this. Will Smith is not canceled. Everybody thinks Will Smith is canceled. Will Smith is not canceled because he slapped a black man named Chris Rock. Had he slapped anybody who was white, he would have been canceled. Anybody, it could have been anybody else. As long as they were black, he was okay. They were mad, but you did that on their floor, but it's okay. He was black. So you can still do what you can do. Now, Kevin Spacey, right? All of these complaints about him. Very mean human being, very stoic, very prejudiced towards blacks, and everything was said about the man. Very stereotypical about blacks, too. And is a closeted bisexual man. Well, at least he was until the allegations came out, and he thought by coming out the closet, it would clear him up. He won his cases in all these sexual misconduct allegations. He won the case because what they were trying to do was get money out of him. These people in their whole situation was crazy. He was drunk one night hitting on this person he didn't know who he was, and the person was like, oh my God. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. He thought like because the person was at the party, you know, he thinking everybody there is of age. But the guy wanted to use that years later to try to get money out of him and to humiliate him. It cost him movie roles, cost him millions of dollars. He had the #1 show on Netflix. They canceled him. And now nobody wants to touch him for about at least another 2-3 years. That's how they do you. So Tobey Maguire, same thing. He got Spider-Man, thank God. That was the only thing he could do, but they still haven't put him in anything else because of all that controversy he had with that Molly's game when the girl Molly was hosting those poker parties and he was one of the rich celebrities in there, and his attitude towards people in Hollywood. He still got his friends. Leonardo DiCaprio, still his friend. Ben Affleck, you know, but they can't be friends with him in public. That's the game. That's Hollywood. That's how it's seen. Now, what is on my Patreon right now? Let me see. We have something explosive coming today. Will Smith sexual harassment case. Thought that was the Pistons game. Bill Cosby in the Different World sequel that's coming on Netflix. We had show you what happened when Bill Cosby he has to be the one to sign off on it. We saw this, the excuses they gave for Hollywood. What really happened to Patrick Swayze. You learn about Patrick Swayze, what happened there. That was with glasses. And you want to be a sports agent, huh? You learn about the life of being a sports agent. Then the truth they don't tell you about the NBA. The league didn't like that. And how to be successful on YouTube. I need to follow this whole instructions on this video because I'm definitely not doing any of that right now. I am definitely not doing what you're supposed to be doing to get successful on YouTube right now. I need to follow exactly what that video is saying. And of course, you saw this one already. I brought that out. And here is what happened to NBA agent that was taken out. And here's what's costing you thousands of dollars. Thousands. So the Patreon's been on fire, you know, and yeah, and I've done all that in this video. Yeah, man, I ain't seen you in a while, Mr. Gordon. Shia LaBeouf, he's banned from Hollywood. He's banned from major Hollywood movies, and they still give him roles. This dude has been in assault cases, arrests, drugs, all kind of crazy, erratic behavior, everything you can to get banned. Shia LaBeouf has done it. Yet he gets jobs everywhere in Hollywood. Explain it. Jim Carrey's retired, so they can't do anything to him. But they was like, oh, he's controversial because he doesn't conform to what they did to him. They had people do hit pieces on him in the media, and it pissed him off completely. And Jim Carrey just went left, putting out all his STDs and everything else. So he was really upset about that. Then Amber Heard. You remember Amber Heard and what she did with Johnny Depp, tried to get money out of him while she goes screw these other billionaires. Now, what is she doing? She goes overseas and just start being a whore to all of these lesbians and other men in the business. But she was a gay woman when he got with her. Oh, Richard Gere, he's definitely someone that they're not filming anymore. He's of age, but they're not looking to put Richard Gere in a lot of movies. They've already outed his double life. Mel Gibson, he's mostly directing now, or he does stuff that goes straight to video with his conservative, pro right wing behavior, and now he's trying to direct movies and just stay out of the fray since he made that epic anti-Semitic rant where he said he hoped his girlfriend get R-word by a whole pack of black people. Taylor Lautner, he can't get any work because basically they didn't see him as a real talent except for his physicality and what he could do, his athletic, his acrobaticness and all the stuff he could do. But other than that, they don't need him in Hollywood anymore, so they cash you out. And James Wood went completely conservative in doggone liberal Hollywood and started telling all kind of wild political outspoken stuff that would get anybody fired from any job. So if only a right wing would promote a movie for him, then yeah, he would go down that road. Oh, well, Michael Bay, that's all he was about, was finding beautiful women, putting them in film to try to sell his movie while he blow things up. That's all he was about. Oh, well, Cameron Diaz can take a year off or 5 years off, have some kids, then come back, and all of a sudden now she's a superstar again after she go have some kids. She can come back, make a movie, get a deal. It was like, how is she able to do all of that? Can you imagine you black folks telling Hollywood, I'm gonna take a break? You'll be out of the game so quick. Oh, Brandon Fraser. Oh, Brandon Fraser. He was assaulted by a producer in Hollywood, and it was going on constantly, and he just went along with it for all these years. and he's married with kids. But since he did that, it came out and brought his career back. They was like, man, Brandon Fraser, this is how he's getting all those movie roles. I'm like, how's Brandon Fraser getting these movie roles? He's putting out for it. Those producers pressured him into doing things, and he benefited from it. Then when his career was through, then all of a sudden they bring it up. That's how they do. Lucy Liu is in everything. She's still fine as hell. Yeah, she looks just like Uma Thurman. Isaiah Stewart. I mean, not Isaiah Stewart. I'm thinking of Beef Stew. Isaiah Washington. Like I told you, great character actor. One of the greatest natural actors you ever want to see on a screen. He will act loose around any actor in the game. Any actor. That man is perfection. Spike Lee even told you, like, that dude was incredible. When he was in Clockers, people saw his potential, all his talent. But as long as you're white, you're all right. As long as you're in that same box, that same little category. As I told you, because some people are white, they can't even get into Hollywood no more. Katherine Heigl complaining about movie roles and talking about directors, and I don't want to be in this movie. I don't want to be in it, and I don't want to be in this. And she just thought she was the end all be all, and she stayed in her little circle. I'm like, you don't even have a circle. You don't have any protection. So she was casted out. The guy who played in The Passion of Christ, what was his name? Jim Cavell. Jim Cavell. Oh, Mina Clueless. Well, they're banned. I mean, they've been pretty much like shunned it because of their Scientology brother. Because they're all in Scientology. And her husband made a stupid decision knowing that what their buddy was doing and just decided to back him. But Jim, he's a very religious man when he played Christ, but he's a very religious man. So he doesn't like to make out with women on camera. If he's married or something, you're not going to see him kiss another woman on the screen. That's difficult. You're not going to be in the A-list, right? So when Rose McGowan called out Harvey Weinstein, and he was like, this is what happened to her career. She went down because she called out Harvey. It's like, look, I was with Harvey and now my life was crazy. No, your life went crazy because your career went down because you fell into drugs and started doing drugs. And once you start doing drugs, I mean, this guy put you in movies that you weren't qualified to be in. What about the actresses that you screwed over to get all the money for being a star in these movies? See, this is what kills me about people like Ashley Judd and all these other people. It's not that they're not great actresses. It's like, look, you compromised yourself to get these roles, you came in there and actually told him you wanted an Oscar. I better get that Oscar. You came in there and actually told him that while you were fooling around with this man to get these roles. And all the actresses you screwed out of the positions so that you can get your awards, you can get your first on the call sheet. You got everything that you were supposed to get out of the deal. Now, those deals is over. You got a career. You ain't got to do that anymore. So now he's not getting anything out of it. And you out here got a name and got all this money from doing this. Now, since it's over, you want to blow everything up because you see an opportunity here for yourself when they're just using you to get him out of power for somebody else to step in there. Right. She dated Marilyn Manson. She dated all these people. And for her career choices, she wants to go blame the guy that gave her a name to begin with. You chose to mess around with that man. You chose to do drugs. You chose to do all those things. You cut your hair off. That ain't Harvey. Who dates Marilyn Manson? Drugs. That's what makes you do it. Then Cuba Gooding Jr., they go out to Cuba. Talking about assault allegations. That man did not assault anybody sexually at all. But they got to destroy Cuba. Well, Rob Schneider, to show you how much they did him, he made a lot of political statements, and even Adam Sandler had to stand back a little bit from Rob and not throw them all in his movies anymore. And you see with Monique what happened with how Tyler Perry and Oprah decided to go after her. So you got all of big time Hollywood going against you. And you see both of them are in the Skittles crew. They went out to Russell Brand's channel because he was making too much sense. They thought of him as some stupid, drunk rocker. And now when you see him, they're like, okay, well, he's not as stupid as we thought. And now he's getting popular off his show. Then he's making all these public statements. And now he's sober, so we can't say he's on drugs. Then you got Armie Hammer, who was out here, all these abuse allegations, and they're thinking of ways to bring him back to the Hollywood. We got to find a way to get Armie Hammer back. Armie Hammer's family is rich. He comes from Armie Hammer. You know the baking soda? He paid off baking soda. I got baking soda. Yeah, he's Armie Hammer. The people that make baking soda, I know you got it in your fridge and don't know who the hell it is, but you know what Armie Hammer is, don't you? I got baking soda. So, oh yeah, he was doing a lot more than baking sodas, boy. He was something else. And Stacey Dash, all her right-wing conservatism, got her kicked out of Hollywood because all she did was state her opinions, and then they attacked her, start calling her ugly. She used to be cute, now she's ugly, and all kind of stuff. It's like, what happened to her? And putting her down. So it's funny how everybody else can be whatever they want to be, but as soon as they say something against what they believe in, now it's a problem. Oh, well, the guy can't get any roles because the guy that played, what was his name? The guy that played McLovin. Yeah, he can't get the roles. It's like the guy that played Stifler, Sean William Scott, who I met here in Chicago while he was on the set of a movie. And he was kind of being a dick to me the whole time. And then when I left, he told the security, like, get me out of there. And even though we're outside, it's an open set. It's not like a closed set. Because everybody's like taking a break and the studio is doing something. They're filming a movie on 87th Street, right off the Dan Ryan. And it used to be like a grocery store over there, like a Kmart, right by the Home Depot. But that place has been closed for years, so they rented out that place so they could buy it and turn it into a grocery store. It's a fake grocery store called Donaldson, and they made that movie. Yeah, and he was like, I'm over there, right? And as soon as me and him had a conversation, I asked him, I was like, man, so I'm like, what's the name of this film? Like, what's the name of the movie? I'm like, I was just over here. I was getting ready to go to Vegas. So I was getting ready to take the bus to take the train because I'm like, dude, I normally drive everywhere. I'm like, I'm leaving my car, so I'm on foot because I'm going to Vegas. I'm not even gonna be here. I'm like, I'm on this bus only because I'm going to the airport. So to get on this red line to the blue line, I'm out. So this guy's running off at the mouth like crazy to somebody else. This guy, they're working on something there. So they're not even filming right now. The co-star, who I done seen in 1,000 movies, he was in Old School, everything. He's like the Hispanic kid with the curly hair. He was eating some Harold's chicken. And he was kind of, the thing is, I think he just didn't want to be bothered while he was eating. So I think that's probably what his problem was. But Sean was the weird one. Like, he was just like, it's called Quebec. I was like, Quebec, okay. And that was basically pretty much it. And I was like, okay, do you have a release date? Like, when is it coming out? You know, I was just asking basic questions. And he was like, sometime next year. We should be finished wrapping in a little bit. I was like, all right, well, I'll check for it, man. That was our conversation. I was done. Next thing you know, I'm turned away and I was talking to the dude. And like I said, he was eating some Harold's chicken. So he was like, I was talking to him about, because he knows the people I know. So I'm talking to him about that, but he's like totally like not like worried about me at all. He's just saying like to himself, he was like, you know what, man, I love this shit right here. Like, you know how people is, they out of town, they come to Harold's Chicken and they lose their mind. Man, I love some Harold. Man, I love this right here. And he just kept going off about the chicken. I was like, all right, I'm gonna just leave him alone because he might just want to eat. So I'm gonna leave him be. So I turn around, and sure enough, the security guard is coming up to me. This is open space. Like, we're outside on the streets of 87th Street. This is you can't lock this area down. Like, you say, like, you want to say, hey, don't come in this section where we got our little tent. That's fine. We on the streets of the city. It ain't a closed set. People walking back and forth. They at the bus stop. They going to work. They going home. You don't have no jurisdiction to tell me nothing on 87th Street. So he come up there like, as soon as I'm walking, he's like, hey, you can't just walk up on my guy like that. I'm like, what? Then he turned away like, and I was like, that was really unnecessary. And you can't, it's a public street. And I look at Sean like, did you do this? Like, was this your idea? And I'm like, oh my God. And I understood what happened. He told that guy to come do that. He told that guy to do that. From that point on, I said, if I ever see him again, I might beat his ass. But I'm like, we definitely gonna have a conversation about that. Because I'm like, dog, I got a suitcase in my hand. I got a tote, a suitcase, a bag. I'm coming here getting ready to go to the airport. I'm not even the type of dude who trying to even be in this movie. That shit went straight to video. I'm not even the type of guy that's trying to be in the damn movie. He said Rick Gonzalez. That might be his name. Let me see. Yep, that's him. My God, y'all are good. Hey, y'all good. How'd you know it was him? How'd you know it was Rick Gonzalez? I knew his name was Gonzalez something, but yeah, it was Rick Gonzalez. That was him. He been in 1,000 things. Well, yeah, that's the dude. He eating that Harold's chicken. No, Sean Patrick was the weird guy, really. He was just like, look, he was just eating his chicken. I just guess he just wanted to go ahead and eat his chicken, but Stifler was the one that was weird. He the one that acted, indifferent. Oh, we definitely gonna have a conversation with that if I ever see him again. I know, but he can't get any roles because that movie flopped. But every time he tries to do a role, people want him to be Stifler or stuck in that character. That was the only movie where he did that. He wasn't being silly, and everybody who saw the movie was expecting him to be funny, and he was the serious guy. And they see him and John C. Reilly in the movie, they think it's a comedy, and it was really just a drama. No, I think he just was trying to eat. That's all he cared about was eating. Yeah, he just wanted to eat his Harold chicken. So that's all he was just talking about. He didn't care about what was being said. Nothing. He just wanted to eat his chicken. So I just left him be. He based dog. Like I told you, there was no set. What I'm telling you is there was no set. They were filming outside. Nothing was locked off or nothing. They didn't have you can't lock off that area. It's like if somebody's filming downtown, normally they like, we're gonna lock off the street. They didn't have the people or the mass to even do that. Like they didn't have that kind of budget to lock down the street. Like those people who are walking by, those are not extras. Those are real people on the street. So yeah, that's why that was pretty much accurate there. He was pretty much a Stifler character in Final Destination. No, 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 you're next. You're gonna die. No, you're gonna die. He was a football player or whatever on there, and then it chopped his head off. But yeah, he got stereotyped into the situation. But yeah, man. No. Yeah, that's pretty much it, fellas. I mean, if I got anything else, I'll let you know. But just letting you know, man, it's like the mafia. Quentin Tarantino, raging cokehead, genius, genius at making movies and getting the movies to go just right. But he's a raving lunatic. One moment he's calm, he's funny, and the next thing he's a coked out raving lunatic. So it's like pick your poison. What about Brad Pitt? Brad Pitt was basically selected. He used to be in all these commercials, and him and Mark Ruffalo, they used to be like on the beach and side by side. Yeah, the Incredible Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, used to be as skinny as Brad Pitt and him. And he used to be in some doggone G-strings on a beach out there being extras in movies in the 80s. Like Mark Ruffalo is older than you probably think. You just didn't know. And since he was in Clearasil commercials, everything, they put Mark Ruffalo in all of these opportunities. I'm quite sure you could probably find it online, but yeah, they were being groomed by, certain people in Hollywood. And Brad Pitt was definitely on those casting couches. Oh, yeah. Rich billionaire parties. They had put him in a Calvin Klein ad and modeling clothes and walking around in their drawers. That was their way introduction into the business. Yeah. And then came Thelma and Louise. That was his breakout performance. And he wouldn't have got the role. The reason it was like three dudes that she had to pick from. They had, what's her name? Gina Davis, who was going to be the guy she was going to be with. So she chose Brad Pitt out of all the guys. It was George Clooney, Mark Ruffalo. They always went up for roles together. But it was Mark Ruffalo and Brad Pitt, and it was another guy too. I don't know if it was Clive Owen, but Brad Pitt was the only blonde. Everybody else was brunette. She chose the blonde guy. And the script called for a guy with brown hair. They actually had it in the script, but he was blonde and they took him. Yes. I hope you're staying blessed too, man. You're having a wonderful time as well. Hollywood is vicious, man. It's soulless. Like they have no care. It's like the mob, man. I told you, these people they black out and they'll take your soul. And they promote people. Now, today, the actors that they promote, they're really not that good. They either look really good or they could do something very well. Like George Clooney is not a great actor. He's not. He's never been a great actor. He's great at being George Clooney. That's it. And this is why he doesn't work with Tarantino anymore. Bruce Willis was great at being Bruce Willis. He's a bartender in real life who became an actor. But he was never, ever an outstanding actor. There's plenty of them. Michael Keaton. Keaton is a made-up name. His name is really Michael Douglas. But we already know there's another Michael Douglas that's famous already. So he couldn't be Michael Douglas. So he changed. They gave him a name, Keaton, Michael Keaton. But Michael Keaton, who plays Batman, real name is Michael Douglas. His family name is Douglas. Mm-hmm. Denzel can act. Because y'all don't really know the real Denzel. The characters he's playing are not him at all. They're actually characters. But you see him as Denzel Washington. Why? I have no idea, because that's not Denzel Washington at all. But right. Denzel Washington, all the characters he played was never like him until he was Lonzo. Lonzo is more like Denzel than anybody. That was more like Denzel than anything I've ever seen. People was like, man, I can't believe Denzel played that kind of role. I'm like, that's more like Denzel than anybody I've ever seen. My nigga. All right, my man. He was Frank Lucas. He was just almost the same thing. From now on, Huey, you talk to me. Nobody talk to me. It's never on the phone, man. Take them damn glasses off. That's him. Yeah. Oh, he was acting. He did a lot of things instinctively. That's why I said it was more like him in real life than anything else. Mm-hmm. Sanaa Lathan. But as beautiful as Sanaa Lathan is, and yeah, as beautiful as they are, Sanaa Lathan and Haley Berry, they both single. So what does that tell you? Forrest Whitaker, outstanding actor. The range. He lost movie roles because they back in the 80s because they said he was too fat. Like he needed to lose weight. And he actually made fun of that in one of his breakout roles he had. He was in the movie The Color of Money with Paul Newman. And he's the guy that hustles Paul Newman when they go in there and playing pool. And then he beats him. But it was Fast Eddie don't recognize he's being, used. And once he gets to that point, at the end, after he wins, he's like, let me ask you something. You think I need to lose weight? and then he walks out. And it's funny because that's why he brought that up, because the guy told him he needed to lose weight. So that was something he just added while he was leaving. And they ended up sticking with it. Oh, him playing Idi Amin was something else. They had to put makeup on Forrest Whitaker to make him blacker, and Forrest Whitaker is blacker than me. I mean, he black and dark as could be, and then well, I got the picture with Forrest Whitaker because that's who I wanted to meet more than anybody was Forrest, because the way he delivers his performances, the emotion, the grit, no matter what role, he can own that. Has a lot more range, like in Mo Better Blues. As great as Denzel was, so was Wesley. Wesley Snipes was great in that role. Well, here's the thing. Jungle Fever was supposed to be played by I was going to say Spike Lee, but no. Jungle Fever was supposed to be played by Denzel Washington. Denzel was supposed to be the lead, and that went left. But no, Denzel got another big budget movie to do something else, so he did it for the money. Mo Better Blues is nice, but he got a deal to do some other movies, so he couldn't do Jungle Fever. So Wesley Snipes, who was in Mo Better Blues, got the lead for Jungle Fever. He beat out some people. Yeah, that's song Stevie Wonder did. She got jungle fever. They got jungle fever. We got jungle fever. They're in love. She go black boy crazy. He go white girl hazy. They're in love. It was a hilarious song. I said, this song is so stupid, it's funny. Oh, Hell Up in Harlem. That was one of my favorites. Pop go to Weasel. Pop go to Weasel. Danny Glover, man, get out of here with all that nursery rhyme. Pop go to Weasel. Oh, there go. Pop go to Weasel. Pop go to Weasel. Come on, man, we getting all this money. Nope. Man, take that country, Bama. Yeah. He was what? Like, how dare you talking to me like this? Pop go to Weasel. Yeah, it's a lot of places resemble old town. Like it's a lot of old towns that they haven't modified at all, dog. Like you can go there and it's like you can film every old movie in the galaxy. Yep. So anyway, I'm gonna get back with y'all directly. Don't forget, go to the Patreon, join that so you can get notifications, everything. All right. Shouts out to Miss You for popping up in here, making my day better than what it was. Kwame Brown Bus Life 2.0 and his regular channel. Don't forget to follow that. And we up out.